This is an inverted paradiddle groove. By the end of this video, you'll be able to not only play that groove, but you'll be able to inject any beat that you already know with ghost strokes just like this. I've taught thousands of lessons just like this to people just like you, and I can show you too. I'm Gabriel, and you are watching the YouTube channel of DrumTipTuesday.com. Now let's get into it. There are 4 steps in getting this groove together. Or actually, I've organized it in the answer to 4 questions. The first question is why? Why the inverted paradiddle and not the paradiddle? Well, I think we can answer that by listening to music. Case in point, when I woke up this morning, I was thinking about, I don't know why, but Peg. It's a song by Steely Dan, and if you listen to the music in that, listen to the very beginning of it, it has that bass line. I think the keys might be playing with it. It just has that boom, 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 boom. That sort of dotted 8th note, 16th note, and 8th rest, 8th note after that. Those 3 notes are the 3 part of a 3-2 clave. Bum, 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 bum. Very common thing in music. When you play a paradiddle, and I think you're kind of getting the gist of this thing. We're going to turn the paradiddle into a groove. We're going to take the right hand and make that the kick drum pattern. If you try to make the right hand of a standard position paradiddle, like this, what you get is a kick drum pattern that's this. Not very conducive to that standard model of music that we just established. What is more conducive to it is the paradiddle inverted. In other words, you're going to take a single stroke to the diddle part of it, right? So I guess not a paradiddle, but an diddle pair, if you will. So single stroke, 2 diddles, then the other unaccented note, single on the same hand that you started with, then just that off the left, right? Get something you can work with, all right? Kind of outlines that bum, 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 right? Bum, 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 bum. Right into a fill. It works out nice. You already have set yourself up for success. And that's the key to putting rudiments on the drums. You don't want to take something like, for instance, a paradiddle and just do it verbatim and just come up with some sort of rule like, okay, well now we're going to take this, put this here, do that there, and then it makes a groove. It doesn't make a groove like that. You think about the music first. Then you take your rudiment and then you apply it in that fashion. So that's the answer to the why. The next question to answer is how? How do we do this as far as applying this technique? What we're going to do is be real strict about it so that we get a jump on the ghost strokes. All right, there's going to be a lot of ghost strokes in this pattern. We want to make sure that from the beginning we're thinking about those, we're considering them in time. And a great way to consider them in time or consider their placement is to take this quite antiquated, old system of ups and downs. As you can teach rudiments from a long time ago. I learned this, it was pretty neat, and anytime that I want to concentrate on the placement of something, I tear it apart like this, real slow. It's gonna be 3 strokes, right? Gonna have a downstroke, starts high, ends low. Gonna have an upstroke, starts low, ends high. And you're gonna have a tap stroke, starts low, ends low. Like that, all right? The sequence of it, well, as you can see in this example here, is everything above the line is with the right hand, anything below the line is with the left hand, but also parallel to that, there's a sequence of ups, downs, and taps that fit like this. I'm just going to say it as I play it, right? Down, tap, up, tap, off the left, down, tap, up, tap, right? Let's do an example. It's going to play it real slow. Hope you play it along with me. Get out a pad, get some drumsticks. We're just going to play real slow to this thing, right? Just going to do eighth notes and do the ups and down strokes. Which brings me to our third question to be answered, and that is where? Where are we going to play this on the drums? Basically, what was the right hand is now going to turn into the right foot, like you can see in the music down below here. What was the left hand is still going to be the left hand. The right hand is now going to play eighth notes on the hi-hat. Just a note here, just an interruption. I've been watching some people out there, and this is cool. If you go to play this on the kit, you're not quite up to it yet, because there's people of all different levels watching this thing. For some people it's a breeze, for some people it's hard. Put this video in a playlist, right? Learn it on the snare drum. Then, at a future date, you can come back to it and put it on the drums. Speaking of which, in this video we're going to put it on the drums at 3 different tempos. If you're up to it, I hope you play along. But before we go on, I myself have a lot of experience in drumline. I'm wondering about who's watching these videos out here. Comment below, what's your drumline background? And that brings us to our fourth and final question of when. It's a question of timing. When is it appropriate to play something this dense? Obviously, not all the time. What you just heard was an exercise that we use to develop the skill set. The skill set is what's important. You now have that skill set. You can put it in and take it out. As a matter of fact, you should do so right now. Practice playing a simple beat and then just slip that in there. What I'm going to do is go back and show you a couple examples of this while trying to establish a 4-bar phrase. In other words, I'm going to play less of it. I'm going to play it because it's still kind of an etude, kind of an exercise for developing this skill set. I'm going to play it basically through beats 1 and 2, but then in bars 1, 2, and 4, I'm going to leave it out of the second half. In other words, I'm just going to play it and try to make a 4-bar phrase, like boom, boom, ta, boom, tat, boom, ba, da, boom. Third bar, boom, ba, da, boom, boom, ba, da, boom, boom, ba, da, boom. Right there, when you play it that way, it feels like a 4-bar phrase. You'll hear it. Check it out. And just as a reminder, there is a drumtiptuesday.com where I keep most of my in-depth educational content. The link to a 7-day free trial is in the description. And if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out one of these videos next.